all, welcome to part 2 of my Amigurumi Gastly tutorial. In this video we're going to assemble our Gastlys. If you want to learn how to make all the individual body parts, please check out part 1. But if you've already done that, grab your hooks and let's get started. The first thing you need to decide is how you want to orientate your body. So I've chosen to have round 1 at the top here because I prefer to have the rounds going horizontally across the face like this rather than having round 1 in the center. However, if you choose to have round 1 at the front of the face like this, so the eye would be here, it actually makes putting the fringe on a lot easier. So decide which way you're going to do the face, whether the eyes are going to be here or like I've got them, and then we're going to pin them in place. Next we're going to attach the eyes. As you can see, I've already pinned one in place. Now we're going to do the second. So the eyes are going to be about 3 stitches apart. This inner corner is going to be pinned in place between rounds 18 and 19. So count out from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 and 19. And when you're happy with the placement, pin it in place. The outer corner is going to be pinned in place between rounds 14 and 15. Now we're not going to sew out to there, so it's just to hold it in place. So count out from the center. 1, 2, 3, 13, 14 and 15. And pin that. If you don't like this particular angle, you can lift that inner corner either up or down further and pin it in place then. Okay, next we're going to just secure the eyes. So pin in the center from at the top and the bottom. Okay, and if you're happy with that and they look nice and symmetrical, we're going to pin the mouth on. So the mouth curves up slightly at the ends. So what we're going to do is we're going to center the mouth between the eyes, and then the tops of the smile, so the outer ends, the highest parts, are going to be about 5 rounds below the bottommost part of the eye. So if you flatten the eye out, count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that's centered. Pin that in place. We're going to do the same for the other side. So flatten the eye out. Count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And pin that in place. Again, have a look. If you're not happy with that placement, move it up or down. That's just personal preference. In there. Okay, and when you're happy with the arrangement of the face, grab your needle and we're going to start sewing. If you've placed both eyes with that row of single crochet stitches we did facing up, you're going to end up with one tail in the back, the outer corner of the eye. So what we need to do is get that to the inner corner. So thread your needle, and then we're going to remove this pin, makes it a bit easier. Insert our needle into the back of the eye. And then weave this through. You're going to weave it through until there. Come on. There we go. Until we get to the inner corner. Or you could have stopped here, just in front of round 1, because that's where we're sewing to. But I had to make things more difficult. There we are. Just pin that back in place, make sure it's all in line. To begin sewing, we're going to go into the body. So insert your needle between rounds 14 and 15 near the pin, and then we're going to come back out in the space between the next rounds, so between rounds 15 and 16. Pull through, and then we're going to go under both the back loop and the front loop of the first single crochet there. Then what we're going to do is go back into, if you can see, where we came out of, so between rounds 15 and 16, back into there, and then we're going to pop out between rounds 16 and 17, so one space down, underneath the second single crochet. So pull that out. And again, we're going to go back in under both the front and back loops, pull through. You're going to go back in to that same spot that we just came out of, so in there, then pop out from in between the next 2 rounds, pull that tight, and under the back loop and the front loop, pull into that same stitch, and we're going to pop out. And we're going to continue sewing for about, I'd say, 1/3 of the length of the eye. Then we're going to sew the back of the eye to the body straight up, and then we're going to sew along back to the corner of the eye, and then we're done. So you're going to do a triangle. So when you finish the front, we're going to fold the eye in half, and we're going to sew along the back. And you're going to finish just in front of round 1 here, so between rounds 1 and 2. Make sure you're only going through the back part, so this part of the fold in the eye, because if you go through the front like this, you're going to see your stitches, so you just want to go through the back part. And all we have left to do now is to go back along the front. Once you've finished, secure the end by weaving the tail of the yarn in and out of the body. Do that 3 or 4 times. Snip off any excess. And there's our first eye done. Now we're going to repeat the process on the second eye. So unfortunately a lot of my footage ended up getting corrupted and I was only able to salvage a couple of screenshots. So I'm just going to go through what got lost. So the eye, the second eye, the mouth and the teeth are all sewed on the exact same way as we did the first eye, so check that out if you need to. The placement of the teeth, you're going to place them at the edge of the mouth and just below the black slip stitches on each side. So on the corners, underneath the black slip stitches. With the fringe, I'll show you how to attach it with my Evie head. Got a couple of strands left over. All you do is you're going to mark out where the center of the fringe is going to be. So starting with round 1, insert your pin, and then we're just going to insert our pins in a straight line all the way around. This is be a bit different because Evie's head isn't exactly round. So just to give you a rough idea. Okay, so that's going to be a guideline. The center row of the fringe goes here, and you're going to do one fringe on this side, another one on this side, so 3 in total. To attach the fringe, all you need to do is take your yarn, fold it in half, insert your hook into whichever stitch you're using, take the loop end, attach it to the hook head, and then pull through, pass the tail end through the loop, and then pull that tight. I'm not going to pull tight on Evie because she doesn't have a purple fringe, so take that out, but it'll end up looking like this. You'll end up with some yarn left over. Just use those to fill in any gaps or thicken out the fringe. When you've finished attaching all your fringe, it's time to grab your pet brush. Now you can use a comb or a regular hairbrush for this, but I'd recommend getting a pet brush for best results. So get your pet brush and start brushing. This is going to take a while. This leftover fluff makes great stuffing, so don't throw it away. Once you've done one side, we're going to flip over and continue on the other side. And we're done. If you'd like, you can trim or straighten the fur with a hair straightener. I prefer not to do that. What I would recommend though is just giving your Gastly a run over with the lint roller, because if you're anything like me, there's going to be purple fibres everywhere. So just give it a bit of a clean up. The last thing you need to do is shape the fringe. Just fluff it up a little bit. And with that, we've finally finished our Gastly. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. I have plenty more tutorials to come.